Imagine you're sitting at your kitchen table. It's a Tuesday. You're eating cereal. Nothing is wrong. And then your phone buzzes. It's a government notification. It says, please report to your nearest deportation center by Friday. And you think, okay, obviously this is about the immigrants. Classic Tuesday government stuff. But then you read the second line. This applies to all non-native residents of the United States of America. You put down your spoon. You, a man named Brad from Ohio whose family has been here since 1887, are being deported. To where? Nobody knows. This is the story of how one lawyer, one stupid legal brief, and 200 years of broken treaties ended the United States of America. The year is 2025. The Trump administration has launched the largest deportation operation in American history. ICE agents, military support, the whole thing. The argument is simple. You came here without permission, you don't belong here, you leave. It is, legally speaking, a pretty clean argument. In real life, it wasn't this clean. ICE swept up green card holders, courthouses, even a few actual citizens by mistake. Lawsuits, protests, National Guard in the streets. Nobody got smiley about it. Then Gerald Fitch made it worse. The problem is when lawyers get hold of clean arguments. Enter Gerald Fitch. Gerald is an immigration lawyer based in Washington, D.C. He's 54 years old. He drinks too much coffee. He has 3 law degrees and 0 friends who enjoy having dinner with him because he will not stop talking about legal precedent. One afternoon, Gerald is reading the government's deportation framework. He's on his 4th cup of coffee. His paralegal, a young woman named Diana, is trying to do actual work at the next desk. Gerald reads. He frowns. He reads again. Diana, I'm busy. Diana, I need to say something out loud. The legal argument for these deportations is that people who entered the country without the consent of its legitimate inhabitants should be removed. Yes, everyone knows the argument. Right, but who are the legitimate inhabitants? Diana stops typing. Very slowly she turns around. Gerald, I'm just asking. Don't. Because technically, Gerald, I am begging you. The only people who were here first are indigenous Americans, and everybody else, including the people doing the deporting, came from somewhere else and also did not ask nicely. Diana stares at him for a long time. You're going to file this, aren't you? I've already started the brief. Diana picks up her coffee, finishes it, stands up. I quit. She does not quit. She proofreads the brief that evening. Gerald files the brief on a Wednesday. By Thursday, it has 4 million views on Twitter, or X, whatever we're calling it now. By Friday, Congress is yelling. The brief's core argument is this. The United States government is currently deporting people based on the principle that arrival without consent of indigenous populations is illegitimate. If that principle is applied consistently, and lawyers love consistency, then approximately 321 million Americans have no more legal right to be here than the people they're deporting. The exceptions are the roughly 9.7 million Native Americans, about 3% of the country. Everyone else's ancestors showed up, looked around, and said, nice place, without asking anyone. The Mayflower landed in 1620. The Wampanoag people watched it arrive. Nobody asked them to sign anything. The Spanish showed up in the 1500s. They planted a flag. A flag is not a lease agreement. The French claimed the entire Mississippi River basin and called it Louisiana. Then they sold it to Thomas Jefferson in 1803 for about 3 cents an acre. They did not own it. Jefferson knew they did not own it. He bought it anyway. Jefferson actually wrote about this privately. A letter to his cabinet, 1803. The historians summarize it as, this purchase is probably unconstitutional and we definitely don't have legal authority to do this. But we're going to do it fast before Congress asks too many questions. They did it fast. Nobody asked enough questions. Until Gerald. Here's where history actually turns. In 1823, the Supreme Court decided Johnson versus M. Intosh. Chief Justice John Marshall, brilliant man, enormous wig, complicated legacy, wrote the majority opinion. The ruling established something called the Doctrine of Discovery. The idea was, European nations had discovered North America, therefore they had the right to claim it, even though somewhere between 10 and 100 million people were already living there. Marshall was reportedly not comfortable writing this. His private notes suggest he found the legal reasoning, and I'm paraphrasing here, somewhat difficult to defend with a straight face, but he wrote it anyway, because the alternative was declaring every single land transaction in American history void, every deed, every sale, every house gone. If I write the honest ruling, Marshall reportedly told a colleague, we won't have a country on Monday. So he wrote the dishonest one, and it held for 200 years. Now, What if Marshall had written the honest one? What if in 1823 John Marshall had looked at the doctrine of discovery and said, "This is nonsense and I won't sign it"? Indigenous sovereignty would have been legally real, enforceable. The treaties the US kept breaking, and there were about 500 of them, and America broke basically all of them, would have had actual legal teeth. The Louisiana Purchase collapses. The Mexican-American warland grab of 1848 collapses. California, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, all of it, legally, is not American. And then in 2025, when Gerald files his brief, the legal foundation already exists. The court rules in his favor. In a 5-4 decision, the dissenting judge writes 14 pages. The majority opinion is 3 paragraphs. The third paragraph just says, "The math is the math." The ruling drops on a Thursday morning. By Thursday afternoon, the government has a problem. The president is briefed. "So what you're telling me," he says, "is that the deportation logic applies to everyone. That's what the court found, sir." "Everyone?" "Yes, sir." "Including?" "Yes, sir." A very long pause. "My family came from Germany," the president says, "and Scotland, sir." "Germany and Scotland." "Correct. Neither of which," he says slowly, "is America." "Technically, no, sir." He stares out the window for 45 seconds. His chief of staff counts them. "Get me a lawyer." "Sir?" "The lawyer's the one who filed the brief." "Get me a different lawyer." "We've called 14, sir." They all say Gerald is right. Another pause. "What about Melania? She's from Slovenia. She immigrated legally. She became a citizen through the actual legal process." His aide checks the notes. "Under the new framework, sir, she actually has cleaner standing than most people in this building." The president looks up. "So, my wife is more American than me." "Technically." That evening at dinner, Melania smiles exactly once. Nobody mentions it. Nobody brings it up, but everyone at the table feels it. The international community reacts the way the international community always reacts to American crises, with a mixture of concern, confusion, and private delight. Germany is contacted first. 40 million Americans claim partial German heritage. Germany is asked if it will accept them. Germany schedules an emergency cabinet meeting. The German chancellor comes out 40 minutes later. "No," she says. A reporter asks why. "Have you met them?" she says. "They put ranch dressing on everything. We cannot." Italy has sent a bill for 17 million Italian Americans. The Italian response: "Many of these people have never been to Italy. They say mozzarella wrong. They think the Olive Garden is a cultural experience. We are going to need more time." "How much time?" "Forever. We need forever." Ireland is told it may be receiving 32 million Irish Americans. The Irish Taoiseach calls an emergency press conference. These people wear green one day a year, have never heard Gaelic spoken, and consider a Guinness t-shirt a personality. Ireland has 5 million people. We do not have the infrastructure. So, that's a no? That's a strong no. England is sent a list. 25 million Americans of English descent. The British response arrives as a single, typed sentence. "We would like to remind the United States that we left." France is contacted about the Louisiana Territory, former French land. Surely France would like its people back. The French foreign minister reads the brief. "We sold that land in 1803. It is not our problem. But the sale was illegal. We got paid. This is America's problem." Mexico is the interesting one, because Mexico lost about half its territory to the United States in 1848. Texas, California, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, parts of Colorado, gone. After a war that historians describe as, and this is a direct quote, "a war of aggression that President Ulysses Grant later called one of the most unjust wars ever waged." Grant said that an American general, an American president, so the American diplomat sits across from the Mexican foreign minister. "So, technically speaking, some of this land, oh, we know," the minister says. A pause. "We've always known." He smiles. It is not a friendly smile. Now, what does the actual country look like? The 9.7 million Native Americans are, legally, in charge of 3.8 million square miles. They hold a national council meeting to discuss this. "Okay," says a Lakota Sioux representative. "So we've been asking for our land back for 200 years. "Yes," says a Cherokee councilman. "And now they just gave it back. Sort of. "Yes. Because they applied their own logic to themselves." "Correct. Okay." A long pause. "So what do we do with 330 million people who have nowhere to go?" Silence. "I mean, we could charge rent. This is genuinely considered. The infrastructure stays. The roads, the buildings, the electrical grid, the internet. You cannot deport infrastructure. The airports stay, the farms stay. 330 million people are trying to leave, but the planes only fly so fast and most countries have stopped answering the phone." The US dollar collapses within 72 hours, not because of inflation or bad policy, because the country that backs it is in the process of legally ceasing to exist. A Chinese diplomat calls his American counterpart. We just want to be clear. You are deporting yourselves. It's complicated. It sounds insane. It's both. We have to ask because we share a lot of trade infrastructure. We know. Who do we talk to now? Honestly, try Gerald. 6 months later, nothing is resolved. 330 million Americans are technically supposed to leave. Nobody has actually left. The planes can't move that many people. No country will take them. The courts are so backed up that Gerald Fitch's original case has been appealed 11 times and is now in a legal tier that might not legally exist. Gerald is doing a press circuit. He looks exhausted. A journalist catches him outside a courthouse. Gerald, did you think this would get this far? No, Gerald says. Do you regret it? He thinks about this for a while. Ask me when England stops crying. He gets in a cab. The cab driver is from Pakistan. You're that lawyer guy, the driver says. Yeah, the one who deported everyone. Technically, I didn't. You deported everyone. Yeah. The driver nods slowly. Man, I've been here 12 years. Legal, green card, everything. Right, so I'm fine. You're fine. The driver thinks about this. This is the best Tuesday I've ever had. Gerald looks out the window at the city. He thinks about the consequences of his actions. You know what else had consequences? The Battle of Dunkirk. Say, what if the Germans destroyed the Allies there?